Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the group exhibit of Hannover Messe 2014, Hydrogen Fuel Cells and Batteries. For those in the aisles, come and sit down and have a tea or coffee on us. This is our last presentation of the day, so I encourage you to come sit down. I will be speaking with Hydrogenics GmbH regarding compact, rugged, robust, latest news on Hydrogenics Fuel Cell Products. Please welcome Business Development Manager Mark Kammerer to the stage. Hello, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
So perhaps you could provide a little bit of background on Hydrogenics. I'm aware of the company being a Canadian. You have a base in Canada. Can you please provide detail into what types of fuel cells you guys offer?
Yeah, we offer predominantly PEM fuel cells in both stationary and mobility applications. Stationary for both backup and continuous prime power, and mobility in pretty much any type of vehicle, whether it's in the air, on the water, on the road, working inside halls or airports, you name it, we've got fuel cells in these applications.
What are the benefits of the high PEM fuel cells in terms of the application, specifically for mobility?
The benefits for mobility is that combined in a hybrid system, that the vehicle can get a longer range and overall lighter weight and higher performance than you can with a battery alone. And of course, in contrast to a combustion engine, it's a totally clean and green solution. Either with either local zero emissions or absolutely zero emissions, depending on the source of the hydrogen.
And in terms of telecom and backup, can you go into some of the initiatives you have right now with your high PEM fuel cells, projects you're involved in internationally?
Yeah, okay, Telecom is certainly an early adopter for the technology, and we have a partnership with the US, but a global company called CommScope, who made a pretty significant investment into the company and currently owns about 30% of our shares. And they are a supplier of fiber optic cable, communications towers right to the last mile of cellular networks in base stations, and also provide power solutions. So with our fuel cells and electronics and control systems, they integrate that into a package which provides basically the running characteristics of batteries and diesel generators, the positive attributes, which gives their customers the advantage of having longer runtime than batteries. But the refueling and operation is running like a diesel, but without the emissions.
So quite beneficial in terms of also remote communities and industrial applications. Like, are you doing anything with mine sites internationally at all?
I'm sorry, what we're doing?
Mine sites?
Mine sites. Well, that's something we announced in the last couple of months. Very remote location in the north of Canada, on the tip of Quebec in the Arctic. We delivered a remote, independent, or off-grid system, or we are delivering, I should say, so it's being produced right now, for a mining community that normally gets all their energy shipped by ship in the form of diesel. But with new wind turbine capability that can withstand Arctic conditions, the community can reduce and eventually eliminate their use of diesel by running just simply wind and hydrogen fuel cells.
So you're involved in a lot of different market applications. What would you say is Hydrogenics' main strength? Like, what is your biggest innovation?
Well, yeah, that's I think our main strength is our development and engineering, which has achieved some very key patents, which gives us a longer lifetime and high reliability of the fuel cells. Also, that design expertise and engineering expertise has given us very compact, lightweight systems, very robust, So I think we're definitely among PEM fuel cells. It's definitely world class and in many respects leading.
What separates these from other fuel cells available in the market? Because there's a lot of different fuel cells here today. What separates the high PEM from all the others?
Well, it's a few things, but the biggest difference for us is we decided to go low pressure, and it's low temperature as well, but that plays in hand with the low pressure. So that means that the stack is a little bit larger because of the lower pressure. But because of the low pressure, we can save a lot on space and the need for a more complex balance of plant. So we have a very simple balance of plant with no humidification required, with this not a compressor but a low pressure blower, which is much simpler and much more compact. So at the end, we have a much smaller system than our competitors who have a high pressure system.
And what are the scalability of these? Like, can you customize them for your clients, and how do you integrate these for them?
Yeah, well, we have a family of modules which start as low as 2.5 kilowatt and go up to 30 kilowatt in our largest single stack. And then what we do after 30 kilowatts is we build up a number of the 30 kilowatts together. So in a single 19-inch rack, you can have 120 kilowatts, and with 10 of those racks, you've got 1.2 megawatt. And those 10 racks would be able to fit in an area of space smaller than this stage. So for the power density, it's quite dense.
And this is quite a new development in terms of the technology for hydrogenics.
Correct, although the 30 kilowatt module was released first in 2011. But this new rack is coming out in the next couple of months, being delivered to 2 European projects in the fuel cells and hydrogen joint undertaking. The Don Quixote project, which is in Belgium, also with an electrolyzer, and the other is the InGrid project. So in to grid, so it's a feed into grid project with Enel in Italy, in Puglia.
Can you go into in more detail in terms of the I know you covered the joint undertaking one a little bit. In terms of the other project, and the larger scale, you said 120 megawatts. Can you go into who you were working with in terms of that?
The 120 kilowatt, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, in the Don Quixote project, we're partnered with the Belgian grocery chain and retailer Colruyt. In the Puglia project, it's Enel, the Italian electrical utility, and McPhee is involved in that for the metal hydride storage, solid state storage. Yeah, those are the main partners there. In the one in northern Quebec, we're working with there's a mining company called Extrata, nickel. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Are you guys doing anything in terms of the aviation industry?
Yes, we are. We have a number of different projects that we've done with German Aerospace, DLR. Standard fuel cells, actually our backup versions, were used and tested a lot for alternative for the emergency power, the Ram air turbine, in electrified landing gear drives so that the aircraft can drive around. So an Airbus A320 has demonstrated this. Without running the kerosene jet engines, the plane can move around on the tarmac, so it saves a lot of energy and is clean. And the other application is producing water in the air by not having to lift water in the air for hand washing and the toilet flushing. Simply lift hydrogen, which is the lightest element there is, of course, and getting oxygen up in the air and making water in the air with byproduct electricity. And the other byproduct is the exhaust is oxygen depleted, so it's used for fire protection in the kerosene tanks. areas.
And you said there was a demonstration project. Is there anything? Is it actually commercial? Is it currently being used in any of the aircrafts right now?
In the aircrafts, no. It's still there's a number of year development project, and as you know, something that goes into the air that has passengers on it needs a lot of testing.
Yes.
So it's a longer program. What we have also done in the aircraft-related market is delivered customized fuel cells to also to German Aerospace, who installed those into a single manned light aircraft, which flew not last year, previous year on a program all across Germany. And the next stages of planning is to go across Atlantic.
Wow. So you're involved, like I said, in a lot of different applications. Is there anything new that we can expect from you, and any big terms of growth and additional commercialization that we can anticipate in the next coming years?
Well, from us, we're starting to get more into and more proactive focus on fuel cell buses. And in our product development and releases in 2011 and 2012, those are now being tested by several different bus manufacturers, and we're looking for a large growth in that market, because the fuel cell bus for the commercialization is, we think, a nearer term than the personal automobile. And it's not because it's an easier application, it's tougher because the buses are running 12 hours, 16 hours, some cases 24 hours a day and 365 days a year. But from the point of view of fueling, it's a much easier application because you have a centralized fueling station and not have to have fueling stations everywhere like you would with personal cars. The integration and the space and also the relative cost of the fuel cell to the vehicle is much easier to make more commercially attractive than in the personal car.
Okay. I'm going to open this up to the floor. Does anyone in the audience have any questions for Mark regarding Hydrogenics and the fuel cells? No? Okay, well, we are getting close to our time here, so I'm going to thank Mark for coming up on stage and talking to me.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you have any questions, Hydrogenics booth is right behind you, C59, with a nice little car there. Please go visit him, ask him any questions you want. I'm sure he'd get into more detail with you in person. Thank you.